Hey guys, I'm back on my regular schedule for the time being. However long that is remains to be seen. For the time being, help me keep this going and get the YouTube algorithm to pick up on me by subscribing if you haven't already. And hit the notification bell so you never miss my latest uploads. I make new videos once a week. For today, the book is Omen 4, Armageddon 2000, and the movie is Omen 4, The Awakening. That's the first giveaway right there, that the book and the movie have ridiculously little in common. Namely, Antichrist Jr. born after Damien Thorne's death, making this ending of Omen 3 just a little bit premature. Okay, so the book starts with a very sick and dying Kate Reynolds, laid out face down on an operating table surrounded by doctors, nurses, and hellhounds. After a quick and anesthetized operation, a new baby is born. The story cuts to about 17 years later when a man named Paul Buher is overseeing Damien Thorne's affairs, namely Thorne Corporation and frequent visits to Damien's early childhood home in London, where his son is living reclusively and without a name. He's just identified in the book as the boy. Paul's visits are frequent enough to awaken the concerns of the church and the press. Further investigation of Damien Thorne's grave reveals that he's not in it. So, the church's battle against the Antichrist is back on, and brazen reporters start getting too curious for their own good. One of them is attacked and mauled by hellhounds when she's caught sneaking around the Thorne house. One guy is baited with some Mile High Club action on a flight and trapped into the chamber where the landing gear is and reduced to a bloody smear on the runway. There are other instances within this book that make it worthy of a place somewhere on the middle tier of the disturbing novel iceberg, such as a baby crucified to a street sign, but it's kind of a hallucination. And the revelation that the boy has been living with Damien's well-preserved corpse. The boy's fate is not described. At the end, he's still alive after Paul Buher has completed the ritual by plunging the daggers of Megadon into Damien's body in the shape of a cross and canceling Armageddon. Good guys won. Like I said earlier, the only thing the movie has in common with this book is the surviving child of Damien Thorne. It's a little girl adopted by two lawyers, just as they make big career changes. Karen decides to be a stay-at-home mom, and Jean decides to run for Congress. Most of the movie runs almost the exact same course as the Omen 1, starting with idyllic and wholesome family life. Then things start going sideways as the little girl grows. While I don't really see unintentional Antichrist in this little girl, who they named Delia, the actress does pull off the shark eyes pretty well. She can hold her own against the class bully, even make him pee his pants in front of the whole class. She makes animals freak out and makes a horse toss her. She rattles the cages of a bunch of palm readers and tarot psychics and makes their little psychic fair burn down. She causes the death of her crystal ball babysitter. Her adoptive mother becomes pregnant after years of disappointments and starts to feel more and more suspicious of Delia as her behavior and everything around her gets more and more creepy. She hires a private investigator who looks up the nun who facilitated her adoption and then fled the convent, only to find her handling snakes at one of those sideshow faith healer tent churches, looking like she just joined the Sparrows from Game of Thrones. A very cliche disaster strikes involving her snakes, and she dies before she can provide any answers, as does the private investigator. Karen has her baby and finds that Delia is exceptionally good with him, but she's not done looking for answers. She eventually gets it all out of her doctor after pinning his hand to a desk with a scalpel. He knew Delia was Damon's baby, and Karen's new baby son is actually Delia's twin brother, who carried inside Delia's body before the doctor had the opportunity, within his, low-tech little general practice, to retrieve the little guy from Delia when he was treating her for her horse accident and implanting him in Karen during her checkup. Hence, Antichrist Jr. is born. And Karen is dead before she can do anything about it. And the movie ends the same way the first Omen ended, with the little Antichrist at the funeral of his mother and his two protectors. And that is everything on both Omen 4s. Thank you so much for watching. Please hit the like buttons, leave comments, and I'll see you back next week for the Island of Dr. Moreau.